Hi, my name is Akshaj and this is episode number 8 of Python Mastery. Today we'll talk about something new. We have been writing programs that do the exact same thing every time they run, same output every single time. In real life that is useful for nothing. Real programs take input from the user, a file or an API. And today we start with the simplest kind, the keyboard. We'll talk about Python's built-in input function, read a name and an age, and that one problem that almost every beginner who touches this function comes up with. So first we are here at an IPYB file and we'll create a variable called name, and in this under this variable we'll write an input function called let's say what is your name. Right. And then we'll write another print function where it says us to hello. So we'll check one by one what it does. First it gives us an option to enter our username, our name. So I'll write a name and I'll hit enter. Now we'll talk about what just happened. In the input function there's two things. It prints whatever string you pass into the parenthesis, and that's the prompt what the user sees, and then it waits. The program, as you saw before, paused completely until we type something and hit enter. So whatever the user type, it's handed back by the input function, and we store it under the variable name, and then the print function uses it. The space inside the code, as you saw here, is that's intentional. Without it, the cursor sits right against the little last character of the prompt. We use it for a visual appeal that makes it look much cleaner. And now we'll try the same thing with age. So we have another age variable, and we'll write an input function, and we'll write what is your age, as you see here. And then we'll write a print function that tells your age is. Then we'll write space, then we'll write age, and hit enter. Now I'll write an age of 19, and now it's printing what is your age. Simple. Now if I want to do something different, for example, I want to know what my age will be after say 5 years. So I'll do the same function. Now this time I'll write what in the print statement, what I'll do, I'll write your age in 5 years will be. Now what I should do is that I'll how do I calculate my current age? I'll add 5 to it. I'll add 5 to it. That is what I should do. So I'll do 19 as I did before, and now I get an type error. So it's important to remember that in an input function, the variable you enter is as default stored as a string, no matter what you do. In default it's a string, unless you change something, which we'll talk about later on. So at first it's a string, and you cannot do arithmetic operations in a string. The plus operator is used as a concatenator now for arithmetic operations in the context of strings. But how do I change it? I can use the Python's int function. This int function converts what my string is to integer, and now when I do the same function, it gives me an answer. So we have learned that Python has the input function Python is defaulted as a string, and you can change it using int. You can also do it the same with the float. So when I run the same thing, it gives me as a float. So works fine. Now what if the user does not cooperate? For example, we have an age, and I can use, if I want to start it first, so I can use this, and if I hit shift enter with it and I write age, it works the same thing. So I don't have to always write it afterwards, I can use it at the first itself. And now the int is the only thing. You can add decimal, as you can see in the float, and now we'll put it together in a file, in a whole bigger code. So as you see here, so what I have code with me, and I'll show it to you. We have used the triple quotes to give a document. So this is, it reads the name and age from the user, then it prints a personalized message. First it takes the name function, name variable, and we have an input, what is the name, and then also does the same with age. And now we'll put a blank space for formatting, and first we'll do, it'll tell print, hey, your name, your age is, what's your age you put input, and in 10 years what your age will be. We did all this before, and now we are doing it as a from the top. So I put my name Akshaj, then now I have to put my age 19. So my name is Akshaj, I'm 19 years old, and in 10 years I'll be 29. So name says a string, that's correct, but we are not doing maths with it. Age becomes an integer the moment it read, because we use the int function, and we have to do maths with it. And the decision made at the point of input is a habit that you have to that's worth building. So if you do a recap, input function takes a prompt string and waits for the user to type something and hit enter. It always returns a string without any exceptions. To do maths or any arithmetic operations with the user input, we have to use int function for whole numbers, or float function for decimals, and wrapping it in int input like we did here, Python evaluates inside out. So, and typing non-numeric inputs into integer is a value error. We have to keep that in mind, which is an error handling that comes later. So that was the video, and if you like the video, please like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.